Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and I wanted to start this video by saying there is no cure to ADHD. There are just things that help make it a little bit easier to manage. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my personal toys, I guess, that help me deal with my ADHD. They were all purchased by me. I've had them for well over a year for all of them. And I will tell you how they work for me and what they do. What works for me might not work for you, but hopefully if I explain it well enough, maybe you can then make up your mind as to what might actually work for you. So let's get to it. Okay, so these ones, I would classify these as desk toys because they basically work at a desk. There's no way to spin a top kind of like just in your hands or whatever. It's a desk toy. So the spinning top thing, it's sort of okay. Yeah, you can do it one-handed. You can do it while you're working. I'm not sure that it really does much for me as far as that goes. I got this one too. This one, kind of neat. This one is neat because if you blow on it, you can keep it spinning. And I thought that after I quit smoking, that would be a good exercise for me to try to get my lungs stronger. As far as like fidget things or being able to do any kind of work or anything with it, not really. Both tops really kind of fail it. And then there's this one. This is obviously a desk toy because there's not much else. I mean, you could kind of sit and do this, right? But it's kind of just meant to sit on your desk and get it spinning. Kind of not great. So yeah, out of those, not so good. Now these and this rate a little bit higher. So this one, it's like a bar with a sliding post on it. And if you let it kind of just drip down on its own, it's supposed to be how fast something would fall if you were on the moon, which I thought was kind of fascinating. And it kind of gives a good example if you're trying to picture this in your head. This part you can actually just take with you and have it in your pocket. And even just trying to slide it, there's a bit of resistance, which makes it sort of interesting. But it's got this little stand that makes it really nice just to keep it on your desk. And yeah, you can kind of just sit there. And so that one rates a little bit higher. These ones I had high hopes for. So this is supposed to be able to, let's see if I can do it. Yep. They roll across your desk. And then like they were saying, like you could learn to do other tricks with it, like kind of catch it on the top, whatever. You're just going to send it sailing to the floor and have to go pick it up. But for throwing it into your pocket and having something that you can just sort of fiddle with, they work out pretty good. They're just like some kind of a weird plastic, I guess. I don't know what they're made out of. But as far as being able to just have something to occupy your hands while you're listening to somebody else, it works really, really good. And there's no noise from it, so you don't have to worry about like upsetting the person that you're talking to while fiddling with it. But the whole being able to roll it or whatever is why I figure it's kind of a desk toy, but it does. So the everyday carry group, the EDCs, call this pocket litter. And for that, I think it works out really good. You know, just having something in your pocket so that way while you're anxious, you can kind of, you know, focus on that instead. So that's the desk toys. Let's see. Okay, so there's no real particular order to how I'm presenting all this stuff. Of course, if I was organized and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't need these things. These are basically, they simulate having that bubble wrap stuff and like popping it, and it kind of gives you that satisfaction of popping it. This one is supposed to look like a fish, and it makes me insane because you can't just do down the middle or the every other one kind of thing. It's like 2 and then 4 and then 5 and 5. I don't know why this one bothers me more than the others, because like this one I can kind of go tic-tac-toe-ish with it or something. Yeah. As far as, are these good for listening? Like if I had these back when I was in school, I think I would have been able to have listened to the teacher better. Is this necessarily good around others? No, because they do kind of make some noise. So I imagine that would be kind of distracting. And yeah, are they good for while you're doing work? No, because you kind of need to have 2 hands, but you can kind of do it one-handed. I don't think that it works really good around work. So that's my take on them. They're okay. I like to keep them around the office. There's times when I'm taking a break from whatever, and these come in handy for that. So that's them. The next one. Okay, this. I have watched other people's videos on toys and stuff for the ADHD, and you guys might have seen this one recommended by a certain very popular YouTuber, and he kind of made it sound like, it's nice and quiet and you can do it and you can concentrate and it's great. It doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry, Mark. It just doesn't. It's almost like it's just so two-dimensional versus some of these other ones that have so much more going for it. Yeah, it feels nice in the hand. It's interesting. It's quiet. You could do it. You could talk to people and nobody's really going to probably notice that you're busy, doing this and going at it. But it just doesn't do it for me. It does seem very similar in action to these, right? So, but there's a big difference in what these do versus this. These, they kind of clank around. You can probably, I'm sure my mic is picking that up, but you can try to increase your dexterity by keeping them from connecting, right? Look at that. After a long day of tying knots, these things will help your hands to kind of limber up a bit. I've got 2 different sets. These ones are metal, and I have a set that are made out of stone. These things really do kind of help stretch out your fingers and give you pressure points across your hands. They were actually, something like this was given as a gift from China to Nixon back when he opened up the dialogue between the 2 countries. And the ones that they gave, though, have like a chime inside. So like there's a little ball that's inside of it that bounces around, and it makes this really nice ringing noise, which would make them impossible to use if you're having a conversation with somebody else. Well, not impossible, but they would be distracted by the whole thing. These have a similar kind of feel, like going around and around, except for this doesn't stretch anything out. It doesn't do anything physically to help you along like these ones do. So that's my take on it. These are really nice for getting your hands to feel better after a hard day. All right, next, these little guys. So these, on their own, they can spin. Like there's like a little ring on the inside and they spin. And I have, like on buses or trains, been just mesmerized by these things for the entire length of the journey. Kind of fun to do it two-handed, and kind of, because they kind of want to lock into each other because of the magnets. They are actually surprisingly very fun. I know that this could probably, like, if you're around another person, they might get kind of annoyed watching you, just keep fiddling with it. Because some of these things, like, you can you'll see some other ones like you can play with it while it's in your pocket, and they just people just think that you're weird or whatever. But at least you're not making them crazy as well. Like this one kind of, I don't know. I don't care what people think if they see me playing with this on a train. You know, but if I was like with a friend, it might be a bit much for them to take. So that's those. I do like these. These I would score actually pretty high. They're pretty fun. Okay, for pocket things, this kind of stuff, the little slider things, right? So this kind of slides different positions. They can spin them around. It's clickety, but you can keep it in your pocket and have, you know, just kind of moving it around and clicking it, whatever. Not too distracting for other people, I would think. Again, this is me on a train kind of stuff. I definitely think these are kind of fun, and they come in different. Like I got another one that's like it. Now this one, man, this one, the magnets are so much more intense, and it's definitely clicky. It's definitely mildly annoying. And it had like a special kind of tape for it that got worn off. I've tried using other kind of tapes. You kind of almost need whatever they had, because it wears out after a while. And it was supposed to make it glide a little bit easier, but without the tape, I guess it works out okay. The edges are getting kind of scuffed, which is nice. I've had this for a really long time, and this is another one of those ones you can, you know, like have it in your pocket or down at your side and do one-handed. This is great for even while I'm busy doing work, like editing videos and stuff. This works out pretty cool. Not bad. So yeah, there's those. Similar, I'll show you this one first. This one kind of goes around in a triangle. It's really supposed to be this, like this. So this part slides back and forth, and you can kind of slide it down into this corner and slide it over into this corner. They're all held together with magnets. So this one, if you notice, is missing something. It's missing this little slider piece. I'm almost afraid to use it anymore because this one, I was just having fun making it go around, and I dropped it while I was here in this office. I dropped it on the floor. The little piece flew off somewhere, and despite cleaning and doing everything in my power, I have never found that little piece. It's got to be around here somewhere, but I never found it. So I've been really scared to actually even work with this one. I really like it. It's a shame that I'm so paranoid now, because it is kind of fun. It's got that multi dimensions. You can either just sit there and flick it back and forth real nice and quiet, like, because yeah, it's a little bit like the action when you have those pens. Oh my God, I used to make my mom insane with those things because I would just sit there and you know, 100 clicks a minute kind of thing, just going at it like crazy. No, I had to do way more than that. Ridiculous number of clicks per minute. But yeah, it's got a little bit of that feeling, but then it's got the change the direction thing. It's a little bit more expensive than a lot of these other toys, but it is really satisfying. It is really, you can see like the first one was getting worn out. It's not as shiny as its replacement. Well, we got the replacement and I just felt really like, I don't know, I don't want to destroy it. I don't want to lose the pieces. So that's that one. Okay, couple cubes I've got here. So this cube, I think everybody's probably seen it. This was meant to be like the ADHD toy of the century kind of thing. And there's like, yeah, there's your clicky, like the little button thing. There's a ball that kind of rotates around and clicks. There's little things that spin. There's like a joystick lever. There's this thing spins. These buttons have different, like the two of them are like really clicky and the rest are mushy, which is a little bit weird, but it depends on which one is going to scratch that itch for you. This I keep around in the office. This was one of the toys that helped me when I was giving up smoking. Actually, I'll bring out the other toy because it is kind of cute. This one really helped me when I was giving up smoking. So this is kind of like a spinner that starts out looking like a cube, which yeah, you can totally do this one-handed, you know, hold it and just use the finger to spin. But what I found I really liked is these two ends are held on by magnets in there. So if you go like this, you can just spin the one end. The other one's not moving. It's just this thing being moved by the magnet. And I would sit there and I would just do this for ages. Like the anxiety of not having a cigarette and depriving myself of it was like really intense. And so this kind of got me through it. And I really, that and this one. I got this one here. This is probably like one of my newest things I have. And it's all right. You can kind of spin the whole thing. Each one of the faces spins. There's like, you know, this one's got a dragon and this one's got like a kind of boat thing and stuff. So like a tiger. I have no idea what the symbols are supposed to mean or what it's for, but there's a lot of different ways you can kind of mess with it. And it's really satisfying. It's kind of a little bit weighty, kind of thing you have in your pocket and just use your thumb to rotate one of the dials. So it makes it good for like around working, like if I'm editing videos, like I said, or just having it out with me in public, because, you know, sometimes people give you anxieties. Oh, one of my biggest times for using this stuff is if I'm like in a car and the driver is driving recklessly. I use these things to try to calm myself. All right, here's a couple things that don't work well in a car. Actually, these really kind of almost need to be done outside. So the whole idea is you can get them to kind of spin around your hand and do tricks with them and stuff. These are weighted monkey fist with a string on it. These are like metal beads, and you kind of just flip it around in your hand and stuff. It's not good for like having conversations with people because there's a chance you're going to hit them with it. It's not good for getting work done, not good for a lot of things. But I find like if I'm out going for a walk and I need a little something else in my hands to kind of calm myself a bit and kind of stay on track with my thoughts, then these things work out really great. Flipping it around, and I really can't do the tricks to show you, but yeah, it just kind of does. It is interesting, and there's a whole community out there to teach you how to do new tricks and have a lot of fun with it. Oh, this one. So first fidget spinner I had was one of those little plastic ones that everybody was using for a while there. And when the bearings and stuff got so bad in it that I couldn't really do it anymore. And again, that was probably around the time of the quitting smoking. We opted to get a nicer one. So this one was a little bit more expensive. Like, I want to say like $15 maybe. These little things can unscrew. I just noticed some of them were loose. But this is heavier weighted. It's got nice bearings in it. That whole force that you feel from it, it was nice. And yeah, bringing it with me everywhere for a while really kind of helped out quite a bit. So that was fun. This is, as far as like the spinners go, like I think this is just a better version of the really cheap ones. So this one, I had great big high hopes. I thought this thing was going to be awesome. It jams up every once in a while, like somehow the gear just doesn't want to let it go. And that's enough to take me out of that focus and have to worry about what is going on with it. A good fidget toy, you're mindlessly working it and it's just there for you. Something that gets stuck along the way and you have to like unstick it does not work out as well. Is it maybe that I just got a defective one? I don't know. But I was really disappointed by this. All right. This guy. We're almost at the end here, guys. This guy, they show people doing all these really cool tricks and being able to flip these things around and do stuff. I can't do that yet. I don't have that kind of dexterity. Maybe it's from all the bracelet making, but just having it around to be able to do this kind of stuff with, or putting it in your pocket and nobody has to know kind of that you're messing with one of these things. I think this thing is awesome. I can sit here at the desk and just do this endlessly, and I love that about this thing. I have no idea what it's called. I'm pretty sure that this one was supposed to be titanium, which seems about right because I've dropped it a number of times and it doesn't even show hardly a dent or a scratch or anything to it. So that's pretty neat. All right. Now, my favorite one. This one is a lot like the last one I showed you in the sense that the shape kind of goes around, but the ends spin, and there's a little thing in the middle. There's two little beads down inside the middle that kind of give a little bit of noise, just a little bit of a click. Like, I'm not sure that my mic can, like, I'm really having to shake it to make it make noise. So you kind of feel it when you flip it over. This is with me like every day when I go out. If I'm having stress in a car, if I'm trying to think of what the next video is going to be about, whatever it is, this is my go-to thing now. I've had it for a long time. These little end things in here, two of them glow in the dark and two of them glow indefinitely. The glow in the dark ones have to get charged up by a light. The other ones just glow. I have no idea how, but they glow, which is kind of neat at night. Like if I'm having like a car ride home, it looks kind of neat because one's blue and one's red, but in regular light, you can't see it. But this is my number one thing. This is my absolute, like, it goes with me everywhere I go. And, yeah. And because there's so much, I can twirl it around or I can sit and spin it because I get that same, like, force that, I don't know what they call that. You know what it is. So tell me in this description, or tell me in the comments. When you spin something, you can kind of feel like that whole, yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, I love this one. This is my absolute favorite. I have two more things to bring out here. So this is, this came from Decathlon. It's a workout thing that it gives a bit of resistance for your hand, but it's kind of soft and whatever. And then there's this one, which has a brand name on the other side, which I'm not going to show. But again, it's just a squishy thing. For sitting around at work at the desk here, getting things done, these deserve an honorable mention because, again, getting rid of that kind of stress or whatever of like having done so many knots and stuff, it does feel kind of good to sort of work the hands a bit. And it does help me keep my focus on what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do with the video editing or research stuff or whatever it is that I'm working on. I can have this going on in the background and mindlessly just, you know, have a little workout. So I think these are pretty cool as well. So that's all my ADHD stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for sticking around this long. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.